Okay, we're starting the meeting here at 6:03 on Tuesday, the 28th of October. Um, and let's see, are there any changes to the agenda?
Nope.
None? Okay, next item is review of the minutes. Any comments, changes, need, or does it appear to be pretty accurate? Accurate as a recorded trend. Minutes could be, yes. Um, I hear no changes?
No change. I have no changes.
Okay, Leah nodded, so I assume that means no.
I have no changes
Or-
to my own minutes. So
Okay, I know, a little bit of bias there, isn't it? We overlook that. Okay, so I motion to accept the minutes as proposed.
Second,
There's a second by Mr. DeSocio. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, say aye.
I
Aye, it's unanimous. And therefore, no need to ask about who's differing or whether there's any abstention. Okay, so has anyone had a chance? Item number 4 on the agenda is the review of the draft, either the red line draft or the clear draft that Matt Batchelder sent us a few days ago. Has anyone had a chance to do that or made any notes? Michael's raised his hand.
have reviewed about the first 40 pages,
Okay,
which I think is where he did most of his work. And so I have like 4 notes and possible adjustments for him. Which I guess I need to get to him. Do you want me to tell you about those right now as well, in case you disagree with them or
I
something?
think so, because
Okay,
unless it's a spelling or space error, which I did find some.
yeah,
There's a need for some content.
yeah,
And I feel if I were bringing up content, I ought to present it to the committee.
Yeah.
To see there's a magnitude of opinion to.
Yeah.
Bring that forward, so.
Yeah.
I have a copy of it on my personal laptop and be willing to go to any page that you feel necessary to refer me to.
yeah, I get the.
Does that make sense?
yeah, I'll also capture it for the minutes. I mean, not that we need to evidence that we're doing work, but nevertheless, I will capture those edits for the minutes.
Okay, thank you. Good idea, Lee. Forget all about that. You know why?
My first comment is on stuff with page 30
Mhm.
of the red line version.
Okay. We gotta open that one then. I opened the clear one.
Yeah, the clear one may have different.
So let me just go to that drive. And open the red line. Page 30. Oh. Feel like I'm there.
So under C, renewable energy, there's there's a lot of discussion about wind and solar. And I had said at the previous meeting, which to me, I think I would vote to strike anything that talks about solar or has any sense of priority on, not solar, on wind. On wind. I don't think we have an appetite or a priority of seeking the expansion of wind energy in town or in the region.
Okay.
Um, so and I had said that to him previously.
Yes.
There's a whole bunch of, it's like 3 pages that say a lot about wind. It says solar, I would, leave the solar stuff in there. But I would take out all the wind.
I think 2 meetings ago, might have even been 3. We had talked about that. Way back when we were looking at introductory things and my memory seems to.
Yeah.
Say that we all thought that was an appropriate suggestion.
Yeah.
Does anyone differ from that today? All the same, so, yeah, did you wanna draw up something, or do you want me to draw it up and send it to all of you for approval, or how did you want to work
think-
that?
I don't think we need to be that formal about it, but what I was proposing is, Matt, read pages 30 through 34. Strike out all the wind. You know what I mean? And he can reformat it. If this sentence says, well, let's do wind and solar, well, you take out the wind and you make the sentence make sense with just solar. I don't want to tell him how to construct the sentence. At least somebody else may want to, but I'm not interested in, I want to turf that to him. Give him the
Yes.
solar.
Sounded
I mean,
like
give
you
it-
had something to offer.
No, I was just gonna say, I agree. I had the same comment. You know, he can,
Yeah.
he can divine how best to do it, but we discussed the piece about removing wind, excuse me, in the, so I agree.
We did mention that to him. I think it was the second meeting ago. He acknowledged it. I sort of had the feeling that he felt some of the verbiage that was in there, which I think is what he left in there, was necessary, and that he was willing to make a comment in our behalf that we here in Brookline did not feel it was something that we needed to proceed on. So if my memory's not failing me, I think it might be just a matter of reminding him. And when I am gonna send him some of the things that I talked about today. And I'm making notes as to what you both are saying today as well, which I'll piggyback on that and send you a copy of it all so you can see what was brought up, but I'm gonna suggest with your agreement, I'll just remind him that we had talked about it before. He had expressed a willingness to express the town's feelings of it not being a method of energy that we are interested in or applies to Brookline, and ask him to install that. Does that seem reasonable?
Mhm.
Okay. Will do. Next place, Mike?
On page 34, they're talking about education. And, a lot of the statements I agree with.
Yeah,
I also have this in the back of my mind as I'm reading through it, that we have, very little control over educational decisions, since it's the Wyndham Regional School District that, makes those decisions. But at the same time, thought a lot of these to support a lot of this stuff still makes sense, even though we're not lead on it. But one of them said, under educational recommendations, it says develop alternatives that can be implemented in the event of overcrowding or under enrollment at Newbrook Elementary School and Leland High School. Leland and Gray.
that's the one you pointed out several meetings ago, I think,
I
right?
did.
Okay,
My reaction was, we're not gonna do that. We're not doing that. We're not going to do that. So you have it in there, it kind of creates an obligation to do something.
yeah, yeah.
Whereas the others I thought were okay. Monitor elementary school age children, support early education, increase after school opportunities. I don't know. I don't even know if we're gonna do that. Encourage active participation in local school boards. Thought all the rest of them were pretty good. But the idea that we would develop doesn't say support alternatives that can be developed by somebody else. It says develop the alternatives ourselves.
It's out of our realm of authority. They have a school board that
Yeah,
we have a
yeah,
representative to.
yeah.
If they decide not to, you're right. We don't have any choice.
Most
I mean,
of this
we
is
shouldn't be-
most of this is out of our authority. So if you want to say support, great, we can support it. We're not gonna do it.
Okay. Ask them to change the language.
Support, encourage, I like, those good, those are good. It's, monitor.
Alrighty.
I think
Well,
he
the
got me when whoever wrote this, and when they said develop, it got me.
Well, to your point, it creates an affirmative obligation, I think. And like, if the recent school consolidation is any indication, like that is a pronouncement made by the school board. It's not something that even the town has. I mean, yes, there are public hearings and things like that, but certainly it's not something the town's going to propose or have a
Yeah.
proposal for, so makes sense.
Yeah. So we'll support it, we won't do it.
We discussed that in the past and Mike brought it up and I think we all agreed as we, I guess, we all feel at this point. Thank God they have the word support there. I would suggest that for item number 4, that same educational recommendations topic, we introduce the word at the beginning of that number 4 sentence, support
Yeah,
increases after school
yeah,
opportunities.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Okay, it's for the same reason.
yeah.
Okay, so, okay, we're moving along. What do we got next?
Next one's just a little technical one. If you get on the top of page 35, in red, it says, however, in November 2024, Susie's Little Peanuts moved. And it's really November 2025.
You're right, you're right. That's one I've also got, and I'm not,
Okay,
you know,
that's a little technical.
number 34. It's November of 2025. Yeah, good. For like. Yeah, anything else?
Right on that same area, just down a little further, under child care recommendation. Um. I just didn't think we were gonna do this work, so for instance, maintain inventory of all childcare programs in the town, next best, that's easy, okay, no harm. That's easy enough thing. The next one says, conduct a childcare needs assessment to determine the supply and demand for childcare in Brookline. I don't know, are we gonna do that? I doubt it.
For the reasons that you outlined number 2 in that other category, educational recommendations.
Yeah.
That one seems like one that's not in our purview, the town's municipal purview either. How do you feel about that, Leah?
I agree. And the
Okay.
closest we'll get to something like that is a survey of what the key issues are for townspeople and childcare being raised, but we're certainly not going to do anything more granular than that.
Yeah, just child care recommendations, number 2.
Well, here's one for you, Stan. Explore the possibility of tutoring of childcare, especially by retired town residents like Stan Noble. I added your name again.
I would not have the patience to deal with today's children. Particularly when just brought up, in the old days when you drove a horse to work.
Mike, you're the one who I think has small children sometimes on your property. Am I wrong?
Oh yeah.
They may
Yeah.
be related, but you know.
But thank you for your consideration, Mike.
Around my house, it's like, don't do what grandpa does. Don't do what grandpa says.
Uh-oh.
Listen to
coming
grandma,
from you or
listen to
what?
grandma, no, listen to grandma, do what grandma says, not what grandma says.
I
That's-
can't imagine that would be number 3, a popular item there, but what's 1 out of 65 elderly people in the town of Brookline? Maybe. I don't know if we should explore the possibility, but support the possibility of tutoring it.
I think whoever wrote this before was an educator and probably a darn good one, but they really focused on, yes. I don't even know how many kids we have living in town, do we?
Not many.
Not many.
I think 22 or something like that. Which is a small number. So, okay, so we got child recommendations. Survey number 2 and recommend possibility of, or support, I should say. Support.
Yeah,
What's that? Anything else, Mike?
that's as far as I got, that's just, not as far as I got, but those were all the comments I have, I think I got to a bit about page 40.
Leah, did you have any listings that you want to go over? Any thoughts that are on the top of your mind? To go over for.
This is where it's going to sound like
modification?
I didn't do a review. I got through literally about where Mike did. couple of the
Wow.
things he noted jumped out at me. A couple of other items were like minor nits, more like
Yeah.
grammar spacing, that kind of stuff, just to start cleaning up the document. But I
Yeah.
didn't find anything else major through about page 40, which is about
Okay.
as far as I am, unfortunately. But I'll get through the
Okay.
rest of it this weekend.
All right. Let me see here. I've got some notes. You take them out. I've got 2.5 pages worth of notes,
All right.
some of which are just spacing, others are. Let me see here.
Leah,
There.
are you in New Jersey?
I am. I'm in lovely Newark, waiting on a
Newark,
flight.
not Newark Airport, not Newark
Yeah.
Airport?
No, the airport. Yeah, airport.
Wow. Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, the dates and so forth that needed to be changed, he's got all marked up appropriately.
Okay.
Let me see. And I'm gonna make sure it's the red line one and not the clear one that I'm gonna comment on. No, I think at some point I switched. The,
We can switch to on the other
that's
document
second paragraph.
if you decide you want.
Let's see. Oh, okay, this is on the red line. It's on page, I guess. 25 of the report, second paragraph. Under. The second sentence on the first line of the second paragraph. For whatever reason, he meant to draw a line through the O of and put in a capital letter. But what he did is he drew a line through the capital letter and put a line under the small letter O. So on that page, that's minor thing I will point out. The
Yep.
next item is page 27 under households, under page 27 to 22. Let me see. No, hold on. No, there's no, wait a minute. No, there's no corrections on page 27. Whatever I made to myself was to follow up later on something and it's not applicable. So I'll go to page 35. So these little peanuts, the same issue, the
Mhm.
year is wrong.
Mhm.
Let me see. Subsequent to that. It's page. I am not sure that on page 35. No, it's actually page 36. That the highway mileage by class is correct. I suspect it might be in error. I've got the data on my home computer to double check that. As I went on through the day and looked at other things, I didn't have time to do it, and I had a doctor's appointment in Greenfield, Mass. That I waited longer for than I would have liked to or should have. So I didn't get a chance to do it.
Is that
Um,
something you can double check, or is that like a Mark
Oh, yeah,
Hills
I've got it
question?
on my,
Okay.
I I don't have that data on my laptop here, so I'm gonna have to check that. And I have a note here on to myself to do that on my desktop at home. And I will advise you what I find. Page 39. Uh, I, let's see. I thought the emergency planning and disaster preparedness was incorrect. But when I went to the clear version of Matt's presentation, there was in fact an underline between the words download and category, so I don't need to take your time there. Let me see. Way back in the appendix of the 5 or 6, I guess it's 6 or 7 maps. 3 of them, as I mentioned previously, need to have Greer Road displayed as a class 4 on the earth resources, scenic resources, existing land use, and future land use maps. Greer Road is shown as a class 3 and it should be a class 4.
Stan, I'm sorry, can you just repeat those maps again? I'm sorry.
Sure. The earth resources map, the scenic resources map, the existing land resources map, and lastly, future land use maps all display the road off of Parker Road, Greer Road, Greer Road,
Yep.
as class 3 roads when in fact Greer Road was made in 2016 or 7. No, after the last town report, it was made a class 4 road, which needs simply, double lines forcing the course that the road goes, rather than the dotted, broken
Okay.
tube. Now, if you go back to page, the first page that shows the contents, table of contents, you'll notice that item number 1 for introduction is on the right side of that sheet. All the other pages listing the headings are right after the title. So I made a note to remind Matt to be consistent. I don't care personally whether he puts all the pages to the right or whether he allows number 1 to come right after the title purpose of the town plan. However, I think visually, it probably would be more clear if all the numbers were put over on the right side of the page. Then on page 5, let's see, that's page 5, okay. Let's see. On the purpose of the town plan, first paragraph. Let me see. Third line. Third line of that first paragraph. After the words 2024 survey, there should be another space between the period and the I of the word it. On page 11. Sorry, I'm getting there. Let's see. Columns here, it's another year. It's another, I think I might have slipped from one to another.
Probably
Yes,
not.
finding
Yeah, it's probably
actual-
not 11 because
It's not,
11 is totally struck out.
not 11.
Probably
Maybe
13, 14.
Page 14, and I don't,
Everything is struck.
not 13. There's one chart he left in. And it's population growth.
Oh, yeah.
somewhere.
Fifteen kind of starts population, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess this is the. I may have switched to the clear report at that point. Uh,
What's,
if you give me a second, I'll
If
open
you-
up both side by. Yeah,
Yeah, if you provide the edit too, I'm gonna go back through all these minutes and kind of clean everything up. So like with
Okay.
pages aligned to the red line version. So if you want to just,
yeah.
if you know what the edit is, that's fine. I'll make a note of it.
Okay, now there's another correction on page 14, which I guess I must be on the clear one. Uh, let's see,
What's the section? Or what are the references there besides the page?
let's see, page 3.
Community profile?
I had made reference to, and I don't know what page it's on in this version, but let me just,
Okay,
it's the Casella management, it's the waste management stuff.
oh, yeah.
Let me see if I can find what page that's on in this one. Oh, I found the table 2 on the red line version is on page 19. And if you look at the table on that page, 1960 up in the green area needs to be several spaces at least over to the right side to be above that column, as the columns are for 1990 and 1920.
Mhm.
So I'm just pointing that out to him.
Mhm.
Okay, and now we're looking at business. So when he gets to the Casella management, I had given him a sentence to put in there. And the way I wrote it, I realized when I read it 10 days afterward recently, that I did not write it clearly. I should have said essentially that the town voted to have recycling done in year 2017, period. Instead, I didn't put that period in there after that and continued the sentence on as if the town had voted in 2017 that Casella Management do the trucking and disposal. And that is not accurate. That was not done in 2017. That was done out of necessity 2 years ago. So I need to rectify that change. And the next pages are pages 34 and 35. It's 32, 33. Boy, my eyes are bad. 34 and 35. Oh, I'm gonna skip 34 and 35. I gotta go back and investigate that. But I might have been referring to the things that Michael had brought up earlier because it's under educational recommendations. So I'm gonna go on to page 36. I'm sorry, 46. 45, and let me go down to 46. It's under cultural recourse policies.
46.
Yeah, maybe it's on another page. Water resources.
Yeah,
water resources,
46
I'm
was
sorry.
flood and
Communications. Oh, yeah, yeah, okay. The change to the solid waste was on page
culture.
42, I believe. Solid waste. Uh,
Cultural
Look-
and scenic resources starts on page
Cultural
55.
55, okay. That, again, I think that's a difference between the. All right, let me find that.
Yep.
There's a change that needs to happen in the cultural resources.
Yep.
There's item number 2, under cultural resources, you'll notice that it's not a complete sentence. Part of it's been chopped off.
Mhm.
And so I went back to the very first 2017's report. And there's 2 lines that need to be inserted above what is currently in number 2 to make it a complete thought. It has to do with archaeology.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
here
yeah.
we go. It's on
Yeah.
page 57 of the red line, and you look at number 2 and it says, support the Brookline Historical Society and its educational programs. That is not the sentence that is originally there. I'm sorry, policies, we want cultural resource policies. Up above, the section above that, number 2 says, as a visual and cultural
Yeah.
asset to the community.
Right.
The first 2 lines of that were left off.
Yeah.
They have something to do with investigating or ascertaining the actual historical significance of certain things.
Mhm.
So that needs to be done.
Mhm.
Let's see, I've got page 73 next marked. And it's got something to do with schools.
Page 73.
Yeah, which again, it could be town plan education. 66. Appendices. 73, yeah, page 73. Let's see, 3rd line, Paul. It's a minor correction. Let me see if I can find it. Page 73. Schools. Oh, okay. Page 73, last paragraph, topic is bold printed schools. And if you look down to the 3rd line, 3rd letter from the right side, you're gonna see the letter all has a period after it. That needs to be deleted, and proper spacing between all and 3. It looks like all is its own word. It's all its own sentence rather than being a part of what follows it. Okay, over to page 45, let me see. The cemetery commission on page 45, assuming this is the right page, has names and they're not properly aligned on the finished product. This one, the red line is, but when he apparently made it certain on the clear item, he misaligned the words. Page 46. The Historical Society. Let me see. Historical Society. No. That's not page 46, apparently. There is reference to a historical society in the red line and also in the cleared town plan. And I went back and looked in the town report. Brookline used to have a historical society, but it no longer has one. It was broken into 2 committees. One is the Meeting House Committee and one is the Round Schoolhouse Committee. So I need to advise him of that change and again, refer him to the town report, which I think Wyndham Regional may have a copy of. To make the proper changes along the way. Let's see, I've got something.
Well, it's on page 56.
I can't think of my,
It says, it talks about old homes and then it says Brookline has a historical society. It's on the top of page
okay.
57. So top of page 57. Brookline has a historical society group, has been actively involved with fundraising efforts. Blah, 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 blah.
That's it, that's the one that needs to be changed, that's, that.
Gotta get, cross that whole thing out.
Yeah, yeah. And that's, I think, let me see. Oh,
Can I add one to the, before you leave that page?
sure,
57.
sure.
Several old homes date back to the late 18th century.
1700s.
Oh, okay, okay,
I think Leah's house might be in that category.
okay,
Mr. Ames's house might be in that category. There's
okay.
5 houses in town that are in the state historic register, and I believe Leah's is.
Not,
Mr.
not that
Ames's is
old, for the record.
that
Ours
old?
is like, ours is 1840.
1840, okay. I
Oh,
think
the
there's,
front of it, yeah. But there, I mean, there may be olders. I know that Ames is older.
Is that the 19th century?
It is, yeah.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
I don't
19th
think
was
we
the
were-
24th and the 21st.
okay.
We can consult, but I don't think we were settled in the 1700s, really.
Okay.
So-
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think in the summary of the historic summary that the town became a town in 1785, maybe.
Yeah.
So.
Original town charter was signed in 1794.
Okay.
You're on, you're on.
Okay, very good. Less than 2 decades.
So we'll say 19th century.
Okay, okay. So do we need to have a correction, Mike? I'm,
No, sorry, no.
okay. All right. Anything else? Sounds like we got a list. Okay, so it looks like at 20 to 7, we're through item number 4 in a review of the draft. We've got a list of questions and pages, et cetera, and things, special things to ask for. And is there any need, anyone feel any need to further discuss those?
I do not. I have a separate question, Stan, if you have a moment.
Absolutely, go right ahead.
Did you also make edits to the draft itself, like to the red line that he sent, or are your changes kind of just notated? The reason is I may just send him, now that I've figured out my technology, I may just send him a red line with all of these changes also in it, so that he can kind of just accept the changes.
What would you do? You would change his red line.
Yeah, I would just re-redline it. I mean, like add my own edits to it, essentially.
Add yours to his red line.
Yeah, capturing everything we've discussed today. And I
Would
had a
you put
couple of,
different- Would you put
Sorry,
a
go-
different background color so he can distinguish
yes,
it?
yeah,
Okay.
Word automatically does that. So it'll be red, blue, green, purple, like whatever
Okay.
colors it needs to reflect different people.
Okay. Okay, that must be in some kind of correction mode or edit mode?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, okay. I'd say go for it. Any
Okay.
help is better than no help. And I think that would be a good way to do it. It's a good suggestion. Okay. Anything else, Leah?
Nothing from me, but
Okay, Mike?
appreciation.
Okay, well, likewise.
I have nothing else as far as changes. I have another comment when the time's right.
Okay, the future steps, as I reviewed, the emails from Matt. Are that for our next meeting on the 12th of November. He's gonna have built into it some of the things from the hazard mitigation chart that he was sent. He's going to also have the results of the survey that he had printed out as a part of his draft to us previously. Inserted into the appendix, as I understand it. He will also have feedback to us for the 12th about the draft plan that we have as to its compatibility with adjoining towns as well as the Wyndham Regional Plan. And he will also at that time, I believe, discuss with us the flood oh, any discussions about the river corridors and flood changes that he feels he wants to comment on. And I can't imagine he's gonna change too many things regarding 2026 because he already has addressed that in his own way. He's got something regarding flood relevance that he wants to talk about. And he said he would build into what document he's gonna present us as a draft prior to the 12th of November relative to the meeting house, some of the meeting house things that were brought up at the meeting that Jonathan Blue was at. I also noted, which I'll remind him of, he, in passing in the past, has said that we ought to include something in our town report regarding ADUs, which are units, additional building units, like converting a garage to a house in terms of housing, because that's not in either the clear or red line draft. Let's see. And we had briefly talked about jumping worms and aphids regarding beech trees. And I don't see where he put that in, and maybe he doesn't want to. I guess my concern is, do either of you feel we should add that, or do you feel we should just let it go as it is? No big damage, whatever. I don't know how complete you want to be. If he's got the time and it's just a brief paragraph, I would think he'd want to include that, but what he might say there is to do for eliminating them or limiting them, there is simply nothing that can be done. I mean, I followed it on other sites for other reasons. PBS Vermont had a recent segment about it, and there just doesn't seem to be anything that can be done, so. I'll
I
stop.
recall
talking.
one, well, I was just gonna say, I recall one of the things he mentioned also is
sorry?
that there, can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay?
She froze.
Um,
Can you hear me?
can I go,
No.
I wanted back to, you mentioned the housing.
Yeah, now I can. Your screen froze up.
Okay. It's probably the airport. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, we
Yes.
can. It says that your
Okay.
connection is unstable.
Okay. I'll try to be brief. I think the only
Yeah,
point on the invasives was that he mentioned that he did not want to duplicate the hazard mitigation plan, that he thought that the flood content should go in. He was a bit more ambivalent on some of the other topics that were covered because he wanted to make sure that they were preserved as separate plans. So, I think maybe we can ask him about that, but the invasives broadly may be like, we may want to reference, but just say that they're included by reference in the hazard plan, as opposed to kind of block copying, pasting some of the content.
you got a good memory, Leon. I remember him saying that now, so I think that may cover it actually. And I think that might have been in the chart of hazard mitigation things that he'll be going through. So thank you for reminding us.
I want to go back to, you mentioned he mentioned about converting housing or converting space for housing.
Yeah.
What specifically was he saying? We should be encouraging that? What should we be
Supporting
doing?
it, I think is the
Supporting
word
it.
probably.
Did he say how?
It really isn't anything that we do directly.
Yeah.
We have no zoning, we don't have any permits for construction, so
Right.
it's like
But
the
I mean,
house down here.
what I'm thinking is, you got an outbuilding, you convert it for housing, your taxes go up.
Yeah,
So the point is, so if you're gonna encourage it, which I think is a good idea, what would the town do to encourage it? Well, the one thing would be, I don't know, if you convert something in some outbuilding to housing, there might be some sort of a break on the taxes, so they don't go up for dollar or something. Otherwise, what are we doing? We're basically discouraging it financially.
Well, from a market perspective, if you're looking at a halfway decent house, I mean, something sizable, over 400 square feet, 6 to 1,000 square feet. Chances of you getting a rent of $900 to $1,200 exists.
Mhm.
So if you spend $15,000 to $20,000, maybe 25 to convert a large two-car garage.
Yeah.
With what had a floor above to store stuff.
Yeah.
Into a living unit.
Yeah.
You're talking maybe in that case, $1,000, $1,200 a month. In 1 year, you've made back what it cost you to construct that or make that modification. In the second year, you're ahead. And every year thereafter, it's an
Right.
economic incentive to lower your tax, lower your out-of-pocket taxes from your own sources of income.
Well, I get all that, but I mean, and the plan says, if we say anything to town, if he's saying the town should encourage it. What does encouragement mean? Does it say, attaboy,
Who knows?
that's great, but that's
I
not
think
really
it's-
encouragement, that's just like, and I guess staying out of the way. Don't create a lot of zoning restrictions would be encouraging it, which we have naturally already, right? We don't really, there's
Correct.
not a lot of
So- do what you can.
prohibitions on it.
Correct.
Head lady, were you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say that I think this might fall into the category of like, it's in the state plan that we should be supportive of ADUs, so maybe it's just a sentence we put in there. I did some research on this because we do some affordable housing stuff at work, and it's something that we push, like we encourage folks to work on converting these kinds of garages or, in-law suites
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was just curious about it. So I think it's in the state policy, and so it may just, I think encouraging it just means we drop a line in our policy, not that we really do too much about it, to be quite honest.
I sense that you're probably right on there.
Yeah, all right, so it's nothing more to it than saying we.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't imply we're gonna take a more active, set up some kind of committee or whatever to make sure it's economically feasible for that person. It's
No.
a free country still, so.
Well, I'm a finance guy, so to me, whenever somebody says, oh, we're going to support and encourage it, I go to, means you're gonna get 10 cents off somewhere. That's not this case.
Right, I hear you, It will set alarm bells off, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Okay. Any other comments or additions?
yeah, that's.
Okay, so it's about 8 minutes of 7. There's nothing else on the agenda other than study agenda. And I kind of listed the 4 main things and some other minor things to make sure that I mentioned to Matt and maybe get some feedback for him, and he's doing very good at that. Basically saying what he thinks we should be talking specifically about at different meetings, so. I seem to think he's gonna be at the 12th meeting. Or will he be only at the select board meeting on the 19th? I think he's gonna be at the 12th meeting,
So
so.
his contract said, if you happen to have his contract with it, it had the schedule. He said at this meeting we'll do this, at this meeting we'll do that
I do,
in the back.
but I know he's winging it a little bit too, so I don't know how much. Here we go, let's see. Well, for October, November, he said work session with planning commission, select board, town staff to review and update community facilities and transportation sections. And I believe he built some of those into the version that he sent along to us, both in underlined. He did build in some of the things that John Baloo said, and he built in some of the things that Mark said. The next thing is ensure overall cohesiveness of plan, documentation, and integrate information from recently completed LHMP. Well, that he's already.
What dates? Doesn't he have a
He
date
doesn't
next week?
say,
No?
doesn't
Okay.
say.
Okay,
What he does is he goes from October, November / date to be determined, which was
okay,
the
okay,
work session with planning commission.
I see.
To the next one where he says throughout, and then update section addressing consistency with plans for surrounding towns and regional plans There's no date on that, other than November, date to be determined,
Okay,
and it appears he's shooting for the 12th.
okay, okay.
And then on 10/9, gotta be the same date, provide implementation program for the town plan. So that is 12/9, and
Oh,
also update town plan maps for 12/9.
okay.
Let's see.
Okay,
Yeah, he's saying he needs to determine whether he can be available on 12/9. Or whatever our date is, 12/11.
sure. But going back to your question, it sounds like we need to assume he's gonna be here on the 12th of November. We're gonna do something. Unless we hear
He
different.
certainly is on the 19th.
But the
I
19th,
believe
for
it's
sure.
the 12th he's gonna be here. So it sounds
12th would
like-
be our meeting, the 19th is a split book. So let me just, can I just say something too on the schedule? I will not be at the 12th meeting or the 19th select board meeting.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna be in Italy. So I'm looking forward to that. So, but I'll get, we'll prep the select board and we'll meet on the 19th. And Leah, all the planning committee members are encouraged to join the select board meeting on the 19th, at least for that, at least for the discussion on the planning, on the plan. So,
Okay. Thank you. You also emailed it too, and appreciate you repeating it, so I've now viewed it, heard it.
Good.
Yep,
yeah.
we're moving so fast, moving fast. Okay, so I'm looking at the agenda, that we've set. Unless there's anything else, we'll move to adjourn the meeting, so Leah can catch your plane.
No
Okay.
objection.
Okay, so, I don't know if we really need to vote to adjourn a meeting, but I'll make the motion. I adjourn.
Second,
It's seconded. Any discussion? None? All in favor of adjourning the meeting, say aye.
hi.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank you.
Leah, appreciate it.
Thanks,
Mike,
everyone.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All
Be
right,
safe.
good meeting.
Also. Okay, now we need to go to stopping race. Are you sure you want to stop recording to the cloud? The answer